Rumors are spreading fast about a terrifying slug monster that wiped out an entire family. People might think this is just another scary monster story, but the details make it highly unique. The giant creature was soon defeated, and its head was placed on a wooden pole right outside the main gate. Everyone got shocked because the survivor who did this was a 10-year-old child rumored to be a beast. A mysterious traveler soon arrives at the quiet village to inspect the remains of the defeated creature. This traveler is actually a famous hunter named Mong Ryan, who feels surprisingly sorry for the fallen opponent. Terrified locals quickly gather around to beg the hunter to eliminate the kid before anyone else gets hurt. The warrior silently wonders about this dangerous enemy that is supposedly disguised as a 10-year-old boy. Thinking that a regular child could never defeat a specter, the hunter slowly opens the gate to find the boy. Covered in blood, the weak kid asks for his identity, and the visitor introduces himself as a specter hunter. Looking closely at the boy, the traveler notices his creepy, lifeless eyes, which probably terrified the locals. He also notices a crude grave that the child dug on his own while starving without any food or water. Instead of attacking, the warrior offers some warm porridge, which makes the young boy feel very confused. The kid asks if the warrior came to destroy him because the locals always hated his creepy eyes. Hearing these sad words, the hunter quietly thinks about the actual truth behind this strange boy. The traveler sits down and asks the kid to explain exactly how he managed to defeat the massive monster. In a quick flashback, we see the boy hiding behind a door while the creepy beast attacks his home. Using a sharp bamboo weapon filled with salt, he managed to surprise the monster and take it down. The boy explains that he even sold his family belongings to buy information about his target's weakness. He displays the enemy's remains on a tall wooden pole to get equal revenge for what happened to his parents. The hunter can tell the kid is telling the truth and wonders how a mere child pulled off such a difficult task. Seeing his insane focus and courage, the warrior realizes this kid is a natural genius born to hunt monsters. Since his mission is complete, the tired child just wants to quietly lie down and pass away next to the grave. The hunter taps the kid on the head and asks for his name before learning that the boy is named Is. He then asks the young child if defeating a single monster was truly enough to satisfy his burning desire for revenge. Leaving some food behind, the warrior cancels the request and says goodbye to the boy, who is left completely speechless. Back in the village, the angry locals are shocked to hear that the hunter refuses to harm a perfectly normal human child. The leader even offers more money while claiming the kid is a curse who will eventually destroy their entire village. Disgusted by their greed, the warrior tells the villagers that their own hatred is what actually attracts evil spirits. Realizing they will not listen, he slowly lifts his hat and reveals a massive white horn that terrifies everyone present. The powerful warrior warns the crowd that he will punish anyone who tries to hurt the young kid again. He explains that his tribe actually works with humans to hunt monsters before officially canceling their mission. Left in absolute shock, the terrified villagers realize they just hired a literal monster to do their dirty work. Since they cannot rely on the warrior anymore, the angry mob decides to take matters into their own hands. Later that night, a sudden spark of fire lights up the dark sky as the wicked plan begins. The cruel villagers laugh like maniacs as they set the poor child's home on fire with bright torches. Tears run down the young boy's face as he desperately tries to save his family's graves from the burning flames. Crying out with pure malice, the wicked locals demand everything to burn, while their anger starts to manifest a dark power. A massive specter suddenly rises from the purple flames and threatens to destroy everything in its path. Looking up in absolute shock, the young boy instantly realizes that the hatred of these people summoned a real monster. Without wasting any time, the giant beast fires a terrifying purple energy blast straight toward the helpless child. The powerful attack hits the target directly and sends him rolling across the hard ground in extreme pain. Lying on the dirt covered in blood, the poor child weeps as he watches his family graves get completely consumed by fire. Refusing to give up, the young warrior slowly pushes himself off the ground and prepares to face the beast once again. The boy watches the wicked villagers turn into flaming specters who want to take away his final piece. He realizes he has absolutely nothing left to lose and decides to swing his heavy tool to strike them down. The kid suddenly remembers the hunter's words asking if he was truly satisfied with just one victory. A sudden burst of anger fills his body as he struggles against the dark purple flames holding him back. The hunter's voice echoes in his head to remind him that his burning desire for revenge is not done yet. He leaps forward with insane courage and drives his sharp weapon directly into the monster's giant eye. The giant beast recoils in massive pain as the young warrior successfully lands a devastating strike. The boy finally realizes his true purpose is to destroy every single monster in existence. As his broken body gives out and he falls, the powerful hunter suddenly rushes in to catch him. Holding the brave kid, the warrior praises his incredible spirit for never backing down against such a huge enemy. Looking down at the unconscious boy, the hunter turns his cold eyes toward the pathetic villagers who caused this mess. He explains that their ugly hatred and bad karma are the exact things that attracted this demonic energy. Pointing directly at the spirits, the warrior commands them to immediately apologize to the young boy's family. With a single swift movement, the hunter unleashes a devastating slice that shreds through the burning ghosts. The giant beast grinds its teeth and screams as it prepares to face the full wrath of the legendary warrior. The hunter easily cuts down the giant beast with a single strike while complaining about the noise. As the monster dissolves, the bleeding boy decides his goal, and the traveler praises his dark choice. Picking up the injured child, the warrior promises to look after him until he becomes strong enough for revenge. Sometime later, a butterfly guides the scene to a quiet room where the young kid is resting with heavy bandages. The survivor groans softly while waking up, and the hunter immediately notices that he is finally conscious. The savior introduces himself as Mong Ryan and says the boy can resent him for saving his life on a whim. He remembers how his entire village burned down and how this mysterious figure carried him away from the ruins. Looking at his clean skin, the boy realizes his tragic memories were real and his body has fully healed. The purple-haired savior enters and gets impressed because the young boy remains perfectly calm around her. She offers to teach him powerful combat arts, but the clever child wonders if this is too good to be true. Smiling at his quick wit, she warns him that his new home will be a dangerous realm filled with demonic energy. The powerful warrior releases a terrifying aura while promising that his upcoming training will feel like pure hell. Instead of running away, the brave kid accepts the challenge and vows to follow her to obtain his ultimate revenge. The beautiful savior tells him to eat everything to recover his strength before they begin their journey. They travel deep into the misty mountains where the air feels heavy with a thick demonic energy. The duo soon arrives at a giant wooden gate which leads straight to the forbidden ghost guardian temple. The young boy wonders if entering this dangerous spirit territory will cause major trouble for his new master. She smiles and pushes the wooden doors open, while revealing that she is actually the legendary chief of this entire realm. The kid gets absolutely speechless when he sees a massive, beautiful hidden city stretching out right before his eyes. The boy looks around the beautiful hidden city and notices that all the residents are actually spirits. Some of the local residents look down at him and whisper about a weak human entering their sacred temple. The powerful chief suddenly shouts to the crowd that this young kid is her new student and family. Hearing her loud announcement, the villagers immediately smile and accept the boy with open arms. The kid is surprised by her massive influence before she decides it is time to start his training. She leads him to a giant table filled with delicious food and orders the chef to bring out plenty of meat. Looking at the huge feast, the boy wonders how eating relates to hunting monsters. Gently touching his hair, she explains that a child must eat and sleep well to grow strong. The chief explains that he needs to build a strong body now to avoid regrets during his future missions as a hunter. Hearing this, the young boy starts stuffing his face with food to prepare for the brutal training ahead. A cheerful spirit named Gong Ah suddenly runs in with a giant bowl of meat to help him build his strength. Before leaving the room, the chief orders her helper to make sure the kid eats absolutely every single bite. The girl is shocked to learn that the mature boy is only 10 years old while she is already 22. The chef explains that spirits age differently, which technically makes the happy girl only 1 year older than him. While the girl happily promises to take care of her new little brother, the silent child remains completely quiet. After stuffing himself to the limit, the boy walks outside while complaining about his massive swollen stomach. Gong Ah explains that the legendary chief is a powerful being who has hunted specters for over 300 years. Hearing this, the young child feels a strange sense of warmth and kindness that he never experienced in his own village. Their peaceful moment is suddenly interrupted by a group of hostile spirits who want to speak with the human boy. Looking at their mocking expressions, the child instantly recognizes the familiar gaze of cruel bullies. As the sun begins to set, the young boy stands heavily bruised after facing their brutal attacks. The arrogant leader smirks and claims they are simply sparring to show the weak human his actual limits. Looking down at the bleeding kid, the bully wonders why the powerful chief chose to train such a weak human instead of him. Instead of getting angry, the bruised boy politely apologizes for apparently ruining their practice match. Hearing this sincere apology only makes the arrogant opponent even more furious. A sudden barrage of brutal punches lands on the child as the attacker mocks him for being a completely helpless human. The attacker soon realizes that the beating feels wrong because the strange boy refuses to even close his eyes. As another massive fist flies forward, the young human quietly notes that the opponent follows a very simple pattern. Pure shock quickly fills the surrounding spirits as they realize the quiet boy is not actually helpless. Leaping forward with insane speed, the young kid prepares to land a massive counterstrike of his own. With a sudden burst of power, the brave kid lands a clean hit right on the bully's face. The kid notes his small body makes his reach too short, which is exactly what the master warned him about. He calmly tells the bully to fight seriously next time, because monsters will never show any mercy. Later that night, the powerful chief is shocked to see her new student, looking like an absolute mess. When she asks if the others bullied him, the quiet kid just claims they were having a friendly match. Using her glowing green magic, she heals his wounds while reminding him to come find her if things get too dangerous. She asks if he managed to strike his opponent back, and the boy tells her that she has nothing to worry about. The master grabs the boy's head to heal his face while complaining about his annoying habit of acting like a stranger. She gently reminds him that she introduced him as her family, so he needs to stop acting like a mere guest in this temple. The kid quickly explains that he did not lose on purpose, but his opponent was simply too fast for him to land any hits. After learning that the bully can fight adults, the young boy wonders if that strong opponent can also hunt real monsters. To his surprise, the master explains that the bully would immediately die because raw strength is not enough to survive. She points out that a true hunter needs both brain power and martial skills to defeat giant creatures without relying on luck. The legendary chief then decides to combine these two skills and announces his very first official training task. Without wasting any time, the brave kid begins running through the beautiful courtyard to build his physical endurance. Determined to succeed, the young boy spends his days doing intense push-ups and reading endless books. While watching him study for a whole week, the purple-haired girl asks if he ever gets bored of this routine. She gets completely shocked after learning that his master ordered him to read every single book in the library. Pointing at his fresh bruises, she wonders why his body is covered in wounds if he is only running and reading. The young boy explains that he must win a mock battle against a stubborn blue-haired spirit who hates him. Observing the scene from a distance, she worries because a human can never match the raw strength of a powerful spirit. Even though he gets easily beaten, the brave child keeps fighting until the angry bully threatens to break his bones. Gong-ah suddenly jumps in to protect her little brother while the bully grumbles and walks away. Instead of backing down, the brave kid asks for another round, and the opponent thinks he has completely lost his mind. The stubborn boy continues to chase the spirit every single day to beg for another spar. Even though the bully easily knocks him down, he gets frustrated because the weak human refuses to give up. As the training days go on, the injured child always gets up and prepares for the next round. The blue-haired spirit suddenly notices that the human kid is not even looking at him during their battles. This creepy realization deeply annoys the bully, who cannot understand his opponent's terrifying focus. The blue-haired spirit trains hard by punching targets because he refuses to let anyone steal his master's approval. He is convinced that his talent is superior and boasts that the weak human will never be able to touch him. Exactly 1 year passes by in the blink of an eye, and we see the young human standing over his fallen rival. Everyone watching is completely speechless when they realize the quiet kid actually managed to land a clean hit. While the hero looks at his own hand in surprise, the embarrassed spirit quickly claims that he only tripped by mistake. Losing his temper completely, the angry opponent rushes forward to strike, but the kid easily dodges every single attack. The bully wonders how this is happening, while our protagonist finally understands the true meaning of his master's lesson. Specters naturally have super strong bodies, and humans can never defeat them with raw physical strength alone. To overcome this physical limit, the boy spent his time acquiring intense literary knowledge. This study helped him easily memorize all the weak points of his opponent during their fight. However, knowing the weaknesses is useless if the fighter is too slow to actually hit the target. By combining martial arts with knowledge, the young boy lands a massive strike on the strong spirit. The crowd watching is completely shocked because a human just defeated a powerful spirit in only 1 year. Looking down at his fallen rival, the kind kid calmly asks if he is doing fine after that brutal beatdown. Walking down the busy streets of the hidden city, the young girl praises the boy for his incredible win. Their conversation gets interrupted when they notice the chief standing before a group of dark-cloaked warriors. The boy asks where they are going, and the leader explains that she must go on her regular hunting trip. She reminds him that they actually met for the first time during her last annual trip. The master then asks for an update on the training task that she assigned to him 1 year ago. A sudden hand grabs the young human as the blue-haired rival steps forward to announce his defeat. This surprising news shocks the leader, while the boy wonders why his former enemy is acting so friendly. The master happily pats the rival on the head, who blushes because getting her praise was his actual goal. As the master waves goodbye, the green-haired boy feels happy that his friends are finally getting along together. He explains that he only kept his distance earlier because he thought the rival still hated our young hero. The blue-haired boy decides to invite our hero for a special hangout while excluding the furious purple-haired girl. Tears of joy almost fill the protagonist when he hears his former enemy officially refer to him as a brother. Under the bright moon, the three kids decide to sneak straight into the temple weapons storage room during the night. Our hero worries about breaking the temple rules, but the blue-haired rival tells him to quickly choose a weapon. Holding a strange bell, the former rival suggests they settle their score by seeing who can hunt a real monster first. While the hero hesitates, the green-haired boy mentions hearing about a crying child ghost that is wandering nearby. The black-haired hero warns his friends that going out to hunt a random specter without information is too dangerous. The arrogant blue-haired rival mocks his warnings and grabs a heavy spiked mace to prepare for the challenge. Calling our young hero a coward, the group of proud spirit kids leaves him behind and heads out on their own. Under the dark night sky, the excited spirits march deep into the forest to find their very first target. The loud leader turns around and laughs when he notices that our hero actually followed them with a tiny wood axe. The arrogant rival assumes the human boy is simply terrified and wants to use this chance to show off his skills. Knowing the extreme danger, the quiet protagonist decides to walk behind them to make sure his friends stay safe. According to the books, a child ghost is a weak specter, so the blue-haired rival should easily defeat one. But the young human suddenly senses a terrifying presence and realizes that something is deeply wrong here. A giant spiked monster covered in screaming human faces slowly walks through the dark forest while letting out a loud roar. Meanwhile, the young spirit kids continue to wander through the deep forest while looking for their target. When the friends suggest going back home, the arrogant rival loses his temper and threatens to fight them instead. To calm him down, the clever protagonist explains that his previous victory in their match was actually pure luck. He adds that his blue-haired friend possesses incredible physical strength and superior combat skills. The blue-haired rival gets incredibly proud of himself and offers to let our hero join his group as a brother. Tears of joy almost fill the protagonist, who says he always wanted an older sibling, which deeply flushes his new friend. Their sweet moment is suddenly cut short when the creepy sound of a crying baby echoes through the dark forest. Eager to show off his superior skills, the blue-haired leader instantly charges forward to hunt down the target. His confident smile quickly disappears when he spots a giant creepy face staring at him from the shadows. While catching up with him, the main hero calmly asks if a regular child ghost is actually supposed to be this huge. The massive creature suddenly unleashes a terrifying roar while revealing multiple heads covered in wicked smiles. Realizing their massive mistake, the blue-haired leader panics and screams for everyone to run away immediately. The giant creature attacks with insane speed and easily blows away the young group with heavy strikes. Our brave protagonist barely blocks the impact with his shield before looking around to check on his allies. Cries of pure agony echo through the dark woods as the strong monster easily overpowers the rest of the kids. The multi-headed beast laughs mockingly while looking down at the young group lying defeated on the dirt. We learn that these dangerous monsters are divided into 9 ranks, based strictly on the survival rate of hunters. While low-level ranks are simple, a level 6 enemy drops the survival chance to a terrifying 20%. The terrible creature is actually a level 6 dragon horse, which is way more dangerous than a simple child ghost. Realizing that even professional hunters barely survive this beast, the young boy desperately tries to think of a plan. The arrogant rival cries in pain on the ground while regretting his dumb decision to start this hunt. Things get much worse when their friend Go Jeel starts coughing up blood from a deep stomach wound. The terrified leader wonders how they can escape from the giant monster while carrying an injured teammate. Standing before his fallen friends, the quiet kid calmly suggests that they must leave their wounded ally behind to survive. The rival is completely shocked by this cold decision, but the young hero explains that the boy is already doomed to die. The blue-haired rival screams in total disbelief when the protagonist suggests leaving their bleeding friend behind. Our hero explains that this monster feeds on negative emotions and is waiting for them to make a cruel choice. Tears fall down the rival's face while the poor injured teammate begs for his life in complete terror. The terrifying creature slowly approaches its helpless prey as their wicked trap seems to work perfectly. Watching his companion get closer to death, the blue-haired leader breaks down and struggles to make a final decision. Suddenly, a heavy stone wrapped in thick ropes flies through the air and lands right in front of the giant beast. A massive, blinding explosion of light suddenly goes off to completely distract the giant monster. Using this perfect distraction, a strong hand quickly grabs the injured boy to pull him away from danger. The rival apologizes to his wounded teammate as a sudden flash of light blinds the giant beast. The survivors immediately start running through the dark forest, while struggling to catch their breath. Left behind on the cold dirt, the injured boy wonders if his friends really abandoned him to save themselves. The blue-haired leader desperately runs away while holding back his tears. The bleeding kid smiles through his tears and mutters that they should only focus on survival. A terrifying multi-headed monster slowly approaches its helpless prey. Hiding behind a large tree, the protagonist watches the horrifying scene unfold. The injured teammate is violently dragged into the darkness as blood splatters across the ground. A massive set of bloody teeth snaps shut as the creepy red eyes of the beast glow in the dark. The trapped spirit of their teammate screams in absolute agony and blames his friends for leaving him behind. Watching from the shadows, the terrified boy hears a creepy warning that the monster will come for him next. The scene shifts to the temple where worried guards run around while the purple-haired girl wakes up from the noise. She soon learns that the group of kids has completely vanished and the main warriors are already searching for them. Remembering their last conversation, she holds her hands together and prays with all her heart for their safe return. Meanwhile, the young protagonist dashes through the dark forest as he finally chooses to look back and face the danger. The boy believes that leaving his wounded friend behind was the only logical way to preserve the remaining 3 lives. He remembers hiding from a monster in the past to survive and avenge his family, which taught him to make tough decisions. Remembering the sweet words of his captured friend makes the child feel a heavy burden as he walks alone in the dark. A wave of self-hatred hits the young warrior who blames the existence of these terrible monsters for his painful choices. A loud voice suddenly startles the kid as a powerful temple patrol officer named Guichin blocking his path appears. The angry officer immediately scolds the young boy and warns him that the chief will be furious about this massive chaos. When asked about the others, the silent boy reveals the tragic news that their companion was captured by the dragon horse. Hearing the terrible news, the patrol officer gets extremely shocked and clenches his fist in pure anger. He loudly demands to know where the creature is hiding, while the young boy explains its creepy appearance. The warrior tells the kid to return to the temple because he believes his own monstrous power is enough to win. The young hero refuses to leave and offers to guide the officer since saving the others is their top priority. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, the injured blue-haired rival bites on a branch to endure the intense pain of his wounds. The 2 survivors catch their breath, but feel an overwhelming amount of guilt for abandoning their helpless friend. Tears stream down the angry rival's face as he blames the protagonist for causing this entire tragedy with his talk. Overwhelmed by guilt, the weeping leader screams that they should have just died together with their captured brother. A creepy baby ghost suddenly floats down from the trees and lets out a loud, high-pitched wail. Fueled by pure rage, the blue-haired warrior swings his heavy weapon and instantly crushes the small creature. He angrily yells that he would have beaten the main boss too if the human had not messed with his head. The crying companion joins the screaming while promising to wipe out every single demon in the forest. While they scream for vengeance, the giant multi-headed monster quietly sneaks up right behind them. A sudden brutal strike cuts through the air and leaves the blue-haired leader completely covered in fresh blood. Looking down at his fallen friend, the injured leader gets launched into the air while the giant beast laughs mockingly. Gripping his heavy weapon with absolute rage, the brave spirit vows to crush the monster to avenge his brothers. The angry young warrior charges forward, but the giant beast easily catches him and starts draining his energy. A powerful kick suddenly strikes the monster as the brave temple officer arrives to protect the young survivors. The bleeding boy looks up in total shock while the giant monster screeches from the sudden impact of the blow. The strong officer commands our young protagonist to take his injured friend and retreat to a safe distance. While our hero quickly helps his weak brother stand, the angry monster prepares to unleash its full demonic power. The beast suddenly mimics the voices of the captured children to beg for mercy and throw the brave officer off guard. Taking advantage of this hesitation, the monster lands a heavy pierce strike on the warrior, who roars in absolute anger. The wicked creature continues using the crying faces of the young ones to stop the powerful defender from fighting back. Even though the veteran knows these are just fake illusions, his deep emotions start to cloud his judgment during the battle. The clever demon understands this human weakness perfectly and exploits it to break down the resolve of its victims. Unable to strike back, the trembling officer takes another massive hit that sends blood flying across the battlefield. However, the arrogant monster has no idea that a completely different kind of warrior is preparing to make his move. Leaping into action, the young boy tells the officer to snap out of it because they are dealing with a heartless demon.